This week's edition of NJBI is Minding Your Business is brought to you in part by AT&T, helping family, friends, and neighbors connect in meaningful ways every day. By PSE&G, powering a future where people use less energy that's cleaner, safer, and delivered more reliably than ever. By New Jersey's community colleges, aligning education to build an innovative workforce. Find out how your business can benefit at njpathways.org. And by New Jersey Business Magazine, providing critical information needs for New Jersey's business community for more than 67 years.
Welcome to NJBI's Minding Your Business. I'm Bob Considine. Well, with Netflix set to build a massive studio at the Jersey Shore, New Jersey's film and television production industry continues to grow. And New Jersey's community colleges are at the center of training the television and film workforce of tomorrow through the New Jersey Pathways to Career Opportunities Initiative and the New Jersey Film Academy. Here to discuss more about this exciting collaboration is a true trailblazer in the industry. Diane Raver is the Executive Director of the New Jersey Film Academy, and Dr. Joan Skoko is the Chief Officer of Strategic Initiatives at Brookdale Community College. Ladies, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you. It's an honor and a privilege.
Yes, and you came all the way from Monmouth County, which I love.
Yep.
I hope you had a good ride here.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Good. So let's talk about the New Jersey Film Academy. What is it and what inspired it?
Well, as you are aware, and most New Jerseyans are aware, this is our birthright. The film business was born in New Jersey with Thomas Edison and Menlo Park, the first studios at the turn of the century. There were 49 studios in Fort Lee, New Jersey.
No kidding, really?
49 studios. The first woman director, Alice Guy Blaché, and the first woman studio owner. She invented the narrative film. Was all here in New Jersey when the Chamber of Commerce of Hollywood came out and coerced them to go west. No. But this is our birthright, and we're taking it back. There's been so much production thanks to our governor who instituted the tax incentive.
Yes.
We're booming in the state. Studios are popping up all over the state. We're thrilled about, and the only thing missing is the workforce, and we're here to fill that gap.
Right. So Joan, how does this differ from like a traditional film school, or does it at all?
So if you look at traditional film schools that produce cinema studies, film theory, those kinds of things, this is much more hands-on, practical training to create an entry-level workforce for the jobs that are predicted to be there. So, you know, folks who go to universities, this is not that. They're looking for higher-end to script writers and things of that nature. But what we really feel is this, because it's entry-level, it's an entry point. It's a way in to the film and TV industry for folks that might not otherwise be able to do it. And in fact, some of them are folks that have gone through traditional education.
Really?
One of our students is a graduate with an accounting degree from a four-year university. But he wants to be a screenwriter. He's an accountant. He can't be a screenwriter. His dad made him take accounting. and why? Because he wanted him to have a family-sustaining wage. So he comes to us and takes the intro to film and office management or accounting, and will get a job doing budgeting, doing film, and make his way inside the industry. And Diane has a great saying for that. What do we tell them, Diane?
Well, it's a big industry if you're on the outside. It's a very small industry if you're on the inside. And I think even you would agree with that, Bob.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about his screenplay, which is probably going to be about accounting.
Probably. There is one, right? The Accountant?
Yes, the Accountant. That's right. Very good, Joan. And is this, we mentioned Brookdale, but are there going to be multiple community colleges based on this?
Yeah, so the beautiful thing about the New Jersey Film Academy and the inspiration from Aaron Fichtner and the Council of County Colleges is the pathway model. It is really what we have done is adopted the true spirit of the pathway model, which is a collaboration between the community colleges. We started with 4. We are up to 9 partner colleges.
Wow.
And
Great.
it really is, you know, you use the word stakeholder, like where everybody wins. It really is an everybody wins kind of thing. We share curriculum with them. We share resources. Diane is a road warrior. She travels around the state visiting our partner colleges.
Right.
And what it really enables us to do is meet the workforce needs in every corner of the state of New Jersey. And so we have Hudson County, we have Mercer County, we have Atlantic County, we have Brookdale centered in the middle.
Right.
We have, again, the 9 colleges, we have Raritan Valley. So wherever the students are, wherever the studios are, wherever the work is, we have access to create a workforce through the work of the Pathways and the Film Academy.
Tremendous. And congratulations on your role in the Easy Pass Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
What about the industry credentials? How does that work in this setup?
Well, everyone who comes to us has to take a script-to-screen intro to the entertainment industry. So they get a foundation of the business and how it works from beginning to end. Because people just think that these shows magically appear, but all those names at the end are real jobs that are needed in this industry. Then there's 3 pathways. One is production office and accounting, one is on set, and one is hair, makeup, and wardrobe. Within that, there's different courses that you can get a credential in. Right now, we're just finishing up the first credentials. We'll have our first credentials credentialed students at Brookdale will be in office coordination and management.
Okay.
And that's, to me, that's the most important one, because that's where most of us get in. And this is about getting in. Anybody who's in this industry got in and then moved around. So, you know, I started answering the phone at a commercial production company. There are ways in, and there's other opportunities than just Netflix. Everybody's talking about Netflix, but there's many, many opportunities in other areas of the industry.
Yeah, this is definitely a pathway.
Right.
And it's a door, it's a way in the door. It's great. We've seen this boom in New Jersey in terms of film production. And a good amount of credit goes to Governor Murphy, as you mentioned, because he's really championed this. How do you see the New Jersey Film Academy helping this workforce? I mean, how soon can this all start to roll? Well,
we part of what I do, and why I've been given this great opportunity, is to put my ear to the rail and find out what are we looking for. For instance, when I went to Raritan Valley Community College, they have a wonderful hair and makeup opportunity. Well, one of the things they're looking for is more hair and makeup folks in this. So there's the lowest hanging fruit at that community college. Each one has something that's needed. We don't want to create. We don't want to bring people through the system and there's nothing at the other end for them. So we're being very strategic about how we roll it out. Like, we aren't running right now. There's not a lot of need for grip and lighting. Now, some people want grip and lighting, but it wouldn't be in our best interest to take their money. You know. So, and again, these are short-term, not expensive credentialing, so non-credit courses.
And what kind of commitment do the students need to make? How many classes a week? Or?
Well, we're running. We learned a lesson in the first one. We were running the class 3 times a week, and it was too rigorous. It's very rigorous. This is not basket weaving, by the way. So we find that twice a week for 3 hours a class seems to be for 8 weeks seems to be a good way to do it.
Joan, I was curious about, like, you know, as we mentioned, New Jersey film is growing and television production is growing. Are there students, like, at the high school level aware of this burgeoning industry? It's always been here, but it's really getting bigger.
So, Bob, that's a great question. Again, the model, the Pathways model from the Council of County Colleges includes partnerships with the high schools. So we started with, again, our 4 core community college partners, but are beginning conversations now with the vocational schools. For example, if you took hair and makeup and you take students coming out of cosmetology at the high schools, you're now taking them from a job at a salon, you know, at minimum wage plus tips, and giving them something that they can go to go to a cocktail party and said, I just did hair and makeup for Jennifer Aniston on a set. You know, it makes them proud, it makes their families proud, and it changes the trajectory for them. Last year, we have a program, a wonderful program that Brookdale is really been received a grant for. It's called Gear Up, and it takes students from lower income areas who are in grade school actually, and takes them through an appreciation of education and learning. They invited Diane and us to speak last year to these students. You know, these are 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, right. And they were very excited.
Right.
And when they hear it's non-credit, they think, well, that's easy. That's not college. Yes, I want to do that.
Right.
And so one of the students said, you know, what do we need to do if we want to do it? And our message was very clear. You need to graduate high school.
Yeah.
You need to do well in
Step
high
one.
school. These are
Right.
rigorous. This is not, you know, these are rigorous programs.
They really are.
And
Yeah.
it was just amazing to see, you know, the faces of the students go, oh yeah, I do have to do this. And that's the point. So we're happy, again, through the Pathways model, to be able to extend our reach right through even the lower levels in grade school.
Yeah, and as you ladies were talking, I was thinking about Joan. You've been at Brookdale for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
You know, you've been in film production.
More than I care to admit
right.
to. Yeah.
But now you're in education.
Yeah.
And now you're in film, film and
Exactly.
television.
Exactly.
Who knew?
It's fantastic. You know, it's like a hand in glove kind of thing. And you know, Diane and I met literally
1 year ago.
a year ago,
Right.
and
Happy anniversary.
the partnership really has been incredible because we complement each other in very, very unique ways. And I have a background in education, in workforce, and Diane has a background in film. I watch film,
Yeah.
you know, and so
I went to school.
So yeah, exactly. So we do really complement each other. So it's been like magic, really. When you look at the time frame from which we were given a charge to, Dr. Stout said, Joan, I want you to stand up the Film Academy.
Yeah.
I said, okay. And then a year later, we have students completing programs and getting out into the workforce. It's incredible. There are not a lot of things in the world, particularly in
Right.
bureaucratic, large organizations, that happen that quickly.
Yep.
It was just the right chemistry between the two of us
Yeah.
that made that
and
work.
cheers to New Jersey Pathways, too. by
Yes,
the way.
absolutely.
And speaking of cheers, NJEDA, we've mentioned Governor Murphy.
Yes.
What kind of investment have they given to help?
So they've really become a wonderful partner. So we received a grant award of $1 million. So, we're out of the gate. We have classes running. It's incredible, but we're on a shoestring.
Right.
We've done it with seed money from the Council of County Colleges. We've been able to support the program growth at the partner colleges, but we don't yet have an infrastructure to support the growth that we need. And so the NJEDA is an incredible partner in that, providing funding for equipment, for staffing, for scholarships, really in a very meaningful way, so that our vision, our strategic vision, is that in 5 years we will be a self-sustaining
Wow.
entity where we have grants, revenue, all of those kinds of things, tuition revenue that cover the continued growth of the Film Academy.
All right, being very strategic on how we do it. So,
Yeah. So I'll ask one last thing in closing. We're talking about you mentioned the vision, Joan. What is the vision in both of your eyes, the New Jersey Film Academy and the New Jersey film industry as a whole?
So I'll let you go first.
Okay. Well, the vision is to, again, we're just getting started. Our goals are to do master classes. We're doing a lecture in June with Michael Uslan, who started the Batman franchise.
Right.
Our goal is to really satisfy the needs of the industry as they become available, and to be flexible to that, and in a good position to be able to support. Again, we've had Steven Spielberg was just here. There's a guy in South Jersey that's got a train in his backyard, and they shot a feature film in his property down in South Jersey. They just did the Dylan biopic in Jersey City, making it The Village. They just did the Bruce film in Asbury Park. Thank you, Bruce, for sticking to that. Again, as you know, I'm the founder of the Garden State Film Festival.
That's right.
I've had my ear to the rail for a long time. There's a lot. We're just getting started here, and again, thanks to the tax incentive and to the Screen Alliance of New Jersey, we're looking at. This is wonderful. This is better than getting a BMW plant. This is more flexible, and for many years, the largest export of the United States was their content. So,
right, very interesting.
And you, Joan?
Yeah. So so I think Diane really explained it really well. And when you look at all of the pieces, on our side. The support of the Council of County Colleges, the support of the economic development, the support of the presidents of the community colleges who are open-minded enough. Dr. Stout is open-minded enough to take a shot.
Yeah.
I know nothing about film. He just knows Diane from the film festival. Take a shot on us. But when you look at the big picture and what we talked about in the beginning, the homecoming of film in New Jersey, in New Jersey, you can be the set of a mansion, you could be the set of a slum, you could be a beach, it could look like California and be in Belmar, as well as, we have the suburbs, we have mansions, we have the cities, whatever locations you need, we have. We have studios across the state, we have some studios, North Jersey, South Jersey, Netflix coming in, and as Diane tells me, they don't need a studio to shoot here, as what you've described. And so when you look at all of those pieces of the puzzle, you say, okay, where are they going to get the folks to work? And we could go to Philadelphia, we could go to New York, or we could grow our own. And so when you look at the missing piece of the puzzle, it's that entry-level workforce, which then really changes the lives of the people who are in New Jersey who are given that opportunity. And so, again, with the help of all of the strategic partners, we're able to look at the economic development of New Jersey through film and television with the missing piece, which is workforce development. You can't have economic development without a workforce, and that's where we come in.
And if I may, that brings up, how is anybody going to find all of these certified people? Well, as part of the New Jersey Film Academy, we instituted the New Jersey Production Guide, which is a resource available to anyone. You got an antique car you want to get in a movie, then you want to get it on the Production Guide, njproductionguide.org.
It is a great resource.
Yes.
I was going through it. I'm like, what can I apply for here?
Well, exactly. And if you want to be found, if you're a crew member, you want to be on the Production Guide. If you have a dry cleaner and there's a shooting tent, they're going to look there to find where's the dry cleaner, lumber yards, antique cars, any animal handlers, you name it, whatever you got, you want to be on the Production Guide. And the income that comes from the Production Guide goes directly to scholarships and equipment needed. It's a win-win situation.
That is excellent. All right, so for more information on the awesome New Jersey Pathways to Career Opportunities Initiative, you're going to go to njpathways.org. And for more New Jersey Film Academy, which includes an awesome production guide, you could get it from there. Go to njfilmacademy.org. Joan Skoko, Diane Raver, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you,
It was
Bob.
an honor and a privilege.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back right after these words.
Did you know you can learn ways for your business to conserve, save, and operate more sustainably with PSE&G's Business Energy Saver program? Believe it. For more, connect at bizsave.pseg.com, your trusted partner in energy efficiency.
Welcome back to NJBI is Minding Your Business, as we now turn to some updated land use rules proposed by the State Department of Environmental Protection that could have some great impacts on New Jersey residents and businesses. And here to talk about it is NJBI Deputy Chief Government Affairs Officer, Ray Cantor. Ray, thanks for coming back on the show.
Bob, it's always great to be with you.
Yeah, so these are the DEP PACT rules. I want to read you the acronym. It's Protecting Against Climate Threats Rules. Where are we with these rules right now, Ray?
Well, this 1,057-page proposal was proposed last August 5th, which means they have until this August 5th to adopt the rules or decide not to adopt them or even make substantive changes, which, there's a process to do that. But so given this time period, we're expecting something to happen relatively soon.
Right, so time is of the essence on this. And you've certainly been a strong advocate for not doing these rules in the way they are written.
Absolutely.
What are some of the concerns with the way these rules are written? For development's sake, we'll start there.
Well, these rules create a whole bunch of new requirements to develop anywhere, especially along our coast. It's going to make development more expensive. It's going to make development less predictable, and it's going to really impact what you can build, what you can't build, where you can and cannot. It creates a lot of uncertainty, increased costs, which are always a concern, especially these days when affordability and affordable housing becomes something that we're all striving towards. So we have real concerns that if these rules are impacted, it's going to hurt the economy of the state, especially along our coastal river communities. It's going to hurt affordability. It's going to hurt our housing stock, and it's going to really have an impact on urban redevelopment.
Let's talk about the standard they're basing these rules on. It's 5 foot. They're predicting what you explained is 5 foot sea level rise.
So a lot of the rules, again, it's a long rule, a lot of things in there,
Yeah.
but the main component of the rule is dealing with a projected sea level rise, which DEP is projecting at 5 foot by the year 2100, 75 years from now,
Right.
at a 17% probability.
Right.
So they're taking these really low
Percentage.
percentage probabilities of it happening, and we think the science is outdated to begin with.
Yeah.
But projected out to 2100, but applying those standards today.
Right.
So immediately, if these rules are adopted, you're going to have to, if you're developing, raise your building an additional 5 foot if you're in these flood zones. Plus, the flood zones are going to be expanding significantly. For instance, about 70% of Cape May County will be considered to be in a flood zone if these rules are to pass.
Are there people who are not currently in a flood zone who may be in a flood zone if these rules go through the way they are? And will they have to pay extra flood insurance? How does that work?
Well, absolutely. The whole purpose of this part is not only to extend buildings upward,
Right.
But also to expand the flood zone landward. So there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be now placed in flood zones who have never seen a drop of rain or a puddle in front of their house, but they're now going to be considered to be a property in a flood zone. And whether or not they need to buy flood insurance is ultimately going to depend on what their mortgage companies do.
Oh, okay.
There's going to be some clerk in some back office looking at, well, we normally base it on federal rules, but now we have the state of New Jersey saying we're now in a flood zone, and it's very likely that these banks are now going to start requiring flood insurance from these people because the state of New Jersey has deemed them to be in a flood zone.
Okay, let's focus a little bit. I know Governor Murphy, and probably to his credit, he's set a goal to increase affordable housing in the state of New Jersey. Each municipality should have a goal to have a certain amount. Whether you like affordable housing or not, the fact of the matter is it's very expensive to live in New Jersey, and you want to be able to have more home ownership, we would think. But how do these rules, would they possibly get in the way of his own DEPs getting in the way of his own affordable housing rules?
No, absolutely, and it does it in a couple different ways.
Okay.
From a basic perspective, the law also states, beyond saying you have to have affordable housing goals, it says you cannot put that affordable housing in flood zones. So now, when you are creating and expanding the flood zones, there could be more areas that are off limits to affordable housing. That, if nothing else, is going to change the numbers. It's going to change the maps, and it's going to just delay the process further as more and more towns, challenge their numbers based on these new rules that are coming out. DEP and DCA did not consult with each other, as the affordable housing numbers were coming out,
Right.
and as the PAC rules were coming out. They were all being done in silos,
silos.
And they don't work together. Plus, again, these rules, as I've mentioned, are going to increase the cost of development. So, what may have been affordable house at a certain number is now going to be a certain number plus, additional amount of money. So things become less affordable as they become more expensive. It's obvious.
Okay. Right. Why is DEP doing this? What is their goal? What is their end game with all this? I mean, they're not doing it for nothing, I would assume.
Well, as you said, protecting against climate threats.
Right.
So the theme is we want to protect the New Jersey citizens from future impacts from climate change. And we concede, we understand that sea levels are rising.
Yeah.
We just don't think they're rising anywhere to the extent that DEP is projecting that they were going to rise.
Right.
So we're taking a good idea of being more protective, being more resilient, but taking it to an extreme level where it now becomes almost a ridiculous number that they're imposing, and it's going to have significant costs and burdens on citizens of New Jersey today.
And you know, I think that the year you said was 2100, 5 feet of sea level rise.
75 years from now.
So how do we don't know if it's going to rain tomorrow, right? I mean, you know, I'm being facetious a little bit, but you know, it is hard to establish that number. Couldn't the DEP like update the rule, or you know, whoever's in charge as years go forward if more protection is needed?
No, absolutely. And we've been making the case since the beginning that, you know, mainstream climate science predicts there will be a 2-foot sea level rise in New Jersey over the next 75 years. We think that's a good number to start with.
Right.
If, you know, over the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years, you know, it turns out that seas are rising quicker than we anticipated, we have 75 years to adjust.
Right.
You know, we can make changes. So, you know, there's no need to impose 5-foot sea level rise, even if it was going to happen. No reason to put it on people today.
I think over the past year, Ray, I think I heard you discuss about people who already live in a tidal area, or may be in a tidal area after these rules are imposed, would need to have a deed on their house or a deed on their property. Do I have that right?
So if you're living anywhere in the flood zone, as DEP, you know, has now going to redefine it,
Right.
and you need any permit from DEP, even putting a shed in your backyard, because under the flood rules you need permits for a whole
Right.
bunch of things. You get any permit from DEP, it's going to trigger a requirement that you put a deed notice on your house that is going to say this house is going to be flooded at some point in time. And you know, I've recently met with appraisers, you know, down the shore, their associations, and when I mentioned that, you know, they all agree it's going to lower property values. Once you put that type of deed notice on a property, it's going to lower property values, and if that happens, it's going to trigger tax assessment challenges, and which is going to throw off, you know, municipal finances as well. So there are a lot of unintended consequences from these rules, however well-intentioned they may be, and we don't even need to do that. We already have a law in place that says if you're in a flood zone, you must disclose it to the buyer.
Right.
So DEP is just throwing on needless burdens on top of homeowners and citizens of New Jersey, really without great science. I use the word extreme, but this is an extreme proposal. No other state in the nation is doing anything like this.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other country in the world doing anything like this, because you know the science is not supporting what DEP is doing.
Right, very interesting. And like I said, Ray, you've been working on this for about a year now.
I wish it was only a year.
But this rule proposal.
The actual rule,
right,
yes.
Exactly. So in you talking to people along the coast and in river areas, tidal areas, and when I say people, I'm talking residents, I'm talking municipal leaders, developers. What is the reaction you're getting? Are people getting wise to this?
When we talk to people, and again, I've been out talking, I mentioned the assessors, I've talked to architects, local government officials, recently, when they hear what's being proposed, they are alarmed and very concerned. The problem is there's not enough communication out there. We don't have the distribution of papers like we used to.
Right.
So I'm really amazed at how long this has all been going on and how frequently we've been out doing these shows with you, that there's still so many people who don't know what's coming. And I think if these rules are enacted, people are going to be shocked. Shocked to find out that they're now in a flood zone, that they may need to buy flood insurance, that their property values have gone down, and that they can't build, on the lot that they've had and they thought, they were allowed to build on.
Yeah. Well, it remains to be seen. We got about 6 weeks left, 8 weeks left, and we'll find out what happened. Ray, great job.
Bob, thanks again.
All right. And thank you for joining us on NJBI is Minding Your Business. We'll see you next time.
Did you know switching the airflow direction of your ceiling fan each winter and summer can help you conserve energy and save money? Believe it. For more, connect at bizsave.pseg.com, your trusted partner in energy efficiency.